the first video we got to talk about today is what's happening over in Mexico, because in case you didn't see the video over on Decoy Voice, it's kind of getting crazy. Boy, this is the Grand Palace, firing tear gas, and it's like their version of the White House. Now, they're protesting the president over there. They're calling her a narco presidente, where they're saying that she has ties to the cartels. And this is like 10 times, this is like 10 times the level of January 6th over in Mexico. But then you saw this over here from mostly Peaceful Media, Julio Rosas. If you're not watching him, you're not subscribed to him, you're missing out. Doing lots of great on the street reporting. But this is nuts. Like, in case we saw this yesterday, but in case you haven't seen it, firing all the different colors of tear gas. There was blue, there was brown, there was like red or yellow. Yeah, this is January 60th. Right here. I don't even know this green, blue, like what is it? It must not be that effective because it's not dispersing them all. The media does seem very silent about this. And I think one person online was saying, like, all it took is closing the border for 1 year for young men in Mexico to say, you know what, we're not going to be able to escape our problems and our terrible government. Now we have to fix our problems here, because that's one thing that everybody keeps on forgetting about, you know, these revolutions or accepting like 90% military-age males from a country where they're fleeing something. Yeah, that they may be getting a better life for themselves, but you're never going to let them fix their country if all the able-bodied men came to America to be essentially, or I don't want to call it slave labor, but the people working for pennies on the dollar. Now, the crazy part about this is I was kind of making fun of it. Not making fun of it, but I was saying it was not a successful attack on this Greek phalanx. Now, somebody was reporting me, or not reporting me, correcting me in the comment section, calling it more of the Greek, what is it, the Greek? It's not a phalanx, it's the Greek something else. They actually were successful if you watch more of this video. Someone said, someone try to sprint across the shields, or you'll see them not successfully breaking through the shields. But they're using this gate to break through the thing. And look, they actually get... So they tried. They were not successful. He got bonked on the head a little bit. Yeah, they're not doing a good job. But this, when you had enough of them, they were able to find the one guy. They got this guy's shield. And they threw a rose at him or something, or a rope. Like, they were able to kind of break this down a bit. But this is still the Mexican riot police pretty much not using the kid gloves on them, but you know, if the military or the police really wanted to open fire on these guys and stop this riot, it would look terrible, and it would probably just... Ooh, we got kind of bonked in the face. It would look terrible, but... They could stop the riots at any time. Flyboy said not that. It is a phalanx without spears. I thought it was a Roman phalanx, but a Roman tortoise. But then when I looked it up online, I guess the Romans used it, but the Greeks had it first. Send in the Pope. I don't know what that means. But yeah, so we saw this. Finally, they were able to disperse the riots. And I can't play this video over here from BG on the scene, Brendan Gutenschwager, another person. If you're not following them, you should be. They're begging for help. People are injured. They were able to push them outside the area of the Grand Palace. But then you see this from BG on the scene again. They were like chasing them away from, to my understanding, this is 7:22 p.m. This was 6:54. So yeah, they cleared them from the Grand Palace. And then they're almost not antagonizing them, but this was a show of force. Anybody a Spanish speaker in chat, let us know what they're saying. Well, they're actually throwing rocks at them, because they're throwing tear gas this way. Rocks are going that way, and then that weird red rope, whatever that was. And now they're coming. Never stood a chance. And this guy still has one of their shields. One What if he's gonna take it home and like that's gonna be his trophy? Anybody know what they're saying? Buenos dias, that's it? This is Mexico, not the communist country. Well, when they were saying si se puede, I remember that was it. They're just shouting insults. All right. They aren't Mexican, so oh yeah. I know something, your mother. Is this guy doing food delivery? Poor guy's getting caught in the middle. And BG on the scene was just at another protest too. That was crazy that he made his way over there. But then you see this when they're actually bringing out the tear gas. Like this guy has the Mexican flag. I think there is one of those one-piece flags. I'm guessing that's F your mother in Spanish. Kicking the tear gas back at him. Oh, there's a straw hat. Yeah, they're getting pushed back. Can someone explain to me the... Yeah, leave my mother out of this. The One Piece amongst the popular... Because it's not... It was happening over in Asia, too. What is that? Why do they use the One Piece flag? Like, it's supposed to... I know it's the pirate gang, but I just kind of remember from when I would cover, like, Johnny Somali being stupid. And he would wear the One Piece hat. They're calling them traitors. It's the working man's hat? I guess. But yeah. They have this, and then they keep on getting pushed back. I guess it's just... well, that's just a repeat video. But it is... Yeah, Johnny Somali, he's in jail, so this maybe isn't the best comparison. But everybody was talking about how the mainstream media seems very, very quiet about it, right? A One Piece has a corrupt government. The Straw Hats are going against the government. Now that makes a bit more sense. So Gen Z protests erupt across Mexico over violence and corruption. So you have News Nation, which is a conservative outlet, saying 120 hurt in the protest. X, which is going to be, I would say, conservative because they just allow freedom of speech. Fox News, conservative, talking about how the protesters attack police. And then the BBC saying thousands protest against a government Mexico City. So foreign, maybe they're okay with it. But then The Guardian, which is, I would say, a liberal UK publication, saying 120 hurt in Gen Z protest over corruption and drug violence in Mexico. So they are reporting on it, but then how come you don't see MSNBC, CNN, CBS? Like, where's the regular, the liberal outlets letting them know, hey, this could possibly happen in America. This is what happens when you have someone whose grandfather was in the Mexican Communist Party takes over the new liberal party in Mexico. Like, it's interesting. So you see this where it's 120 hurt. Where do they talk? They say it's because the president is a narco president. Because this is going to be a long article, but are they actually going to tell their readers what this was over? Because RMSM has a verified agenda. Exactly. 100 police officers injured. 40 required hospital treatment. 20 protesters hurt. Second largest, so there was a second protest. So yeah. Shine Bomb in power since 2024, has approval ratings over 70%. I mean, to be honest, if I lived in Mexico, especially a shady part of Mexico, maybe I wouldn't be so verbal about criticizing Shine Bomb due to what happens to the people that criticize her or, God forbid, run against her in a political race. Maybe that's why she has 70% approval rating. After several high-profile murders, yeah. Yeah, Mexico's first female president. They keep on talking about, oh, she's liberal, she's a feminist president, but then they showed all the videos and instances of like the woman being beaten by the police during this riot. We say no to violence as they beat them. Let's see. Against drug trafficking, the mayor that got assassinated. Against her at the National Palace. This is how you should have protected Carlos Manzo, the mayor that got assassinated. Wow, in this entire article, I don't think at one point in time they ever admit this was a protest because she may be a part of the cartel. Interesting that they dropped that. And I think Asmongold probably has the best point as to why the mainstream media or the liberal media almost refuses to address why exactly are they protesting her being possibly a narco president.
Is against media bias? Sure. Well, basically, for any left-wing media, the idea that Mexico is a cartel state and that they have all these problems here, basically, they want to portray, a lot of the media has portrayed the Mexican government as being good actors, and they've portrayed the, the president of Mexico as being defiant against Trump. And
anybody, because Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad runs so deep that even if you're run by the cartels, who has been just knocking off all your political enemies, Orange Man has to be bad no matter what.
And generally made her look like a good actor. And I think that this kind of puts a total it f***s that up, right? It f***s up that narrative. And so that's the reason why they don't want to talk about it. The fact that she's a woman can do no wrong. Yeah, I don't know exactly. But I think I think it's really just because she's oppositional to Trump, right? I mean, if it was a guy, I think the same thing would happen. They don't want to acknowledge Mexico's cartel problem because Trump is intervention against the cartels. Yeah, exactly. Because if they acknowledge, you're right. Yeah,
because Trump is going in there to use special forces to combat the cartels. If they say Orange Man bad, anti-Trump president good, if Trump is anti-cartels, by process of affiliation, they just automatically have to say, cartels must be good. That's why they're not covering these massive protests. Like I said, looks like January 60th. That's why they can't cover it.
If they acknowledge that Mexico does have a cartel problem, then they would also acknowledge that Trump was right about saying that Mexico had a cartel problem. So they don't want to do that.
And it's insane how they keep on saying that Trump can't sink these cartel boats, bringing in insane amounts of fentanyl into our country. Oh my God, you gotta follow the due process and the rights of the cartel members. Scheinbaum is saying the same exact thing in Mexico. If Trump comes into Mexico taking on the cartels, that's unconstitutional. We need to help the cartels fight fascism because Orange Man bad, not because we are pro-cartel. Like, it's insane to me, but the fact that you have our mainstream media, the Democrats in Congress and in Senate, television personalities, and now the Mexican president, all parroting the same talking points, it almost makes you think these aren't individual thinkers. These are just the official talking points they wanted to march out, and I'm just, I wouldn't say scared, but I would say I'm concerned that there's a shadowy global agenda controlling our Democrats, controlling our media, controlling the presidents of other countries, sending in copious amounts of substances across our border. Why are they all seemingly on the same side? Is it possibly because Orange Man is that bad and they need to fight him? Or is it possibly because they are just one front? They're one power. They're one global thing. Like, I don't want to pull out my tinfoil beanie right now. I don't know. No tinfoil beanie quite yet. That's what I think.